He says, I'm going to rip her jaw off in a downward motion. I'm going to rip her jaw off, so all of her flesh is going to rip off with her. Like her neck flesh, her breasts, all the way down to her stomach, and I'm going to rip that off. I'm going to throw it at you. And Jojo's like, nah, you're not going to do something that fucked up. And then he starts doing the finger fucking thing, and Jojo's like, all right, that's kind of fucking weird. All right, Chad, we're going to go ahead, and we're going to move on to my review, my spoiler review, my scene by scene breakdown to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, episode 11. I'll do a brief recap of the previous events of last episode. We've been introduced to a whole new cast of characters. And also some old familiar faces, much older, because it's like, years later, it's decades later, after the death of Jonathan Joestar. Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando are dead. We'll see. Like, a lot of people seem to come back quite often in this show. But they died, and we are now following the next generation. Specifically, Joseph Joestar, Joey Joestar, as I like to call them, the new JoJo, if you will, who, while very powerful, much like his grandfather, he is very different from him. Unlike, Jonathan Joestar, who is very altruistic, it was kind, just ever the gentleman, just a very gentlemanly person. Joey, not so much. Joey is very arrogant. He's brash, a bit of a rogue, I would say, but he still has a good heart. I think he still has a good heart. He just kind of has this, facade he likes to put on for a lot of people. And he met a new friend, Smokey Black, who was our first. That is fucked up. We're going to introduce our first black character in our show, in our anime, and we're going to name him Smokey Black. And I'm just like, that's unfortunate. That's pretty unfortunate. And they're living in New York City. He got his grandmother, Arena Joestar, keep an eye on him and everything. But oh no, tragedy strikes, Chad. Tragedy strikes because good old Uncle Speedwagon, who became an oil tycoon after the events of everything with the Dio saga and the death of JoJo, he was seemingly killed by Straizo, a former friend and ally who wishes to live forever, but he's aged so much. And they found this cavern. They found this ancient temple. And beneath this temple, inside this cave system, is this guy that was like inside this pillar, like mummified inside of a pillar, with all of these various vampiric masks. And Straizo took one of those masks for himself, became a vampire lord, and killed everyone around him, and even poor Uncle Speedwagon. And Joey Joestar and Smokey Black and all of his various family members and allies, they learned of this, and they're quite saddened by it. And so they're preparing themselves to encounter Straizo. And lo and behold, at the end of last episode, Chad, Straizo arrives and attacks Jojo. But Jojo, he was too quick for Straizo, and he lit him up. He filled his body with molten hot lead, shot him with a Tommy gun over and over and over and over again. And he would crash through this coffee shop that Jojo and Smokey were in at the time, and causing mass chaos. And that's where we left off, Chad. So we have Jojo shooting inside of the cafe and restaurant. Everyone's going, oh my fucking God, what's happening? I think it's the mob at this point, because it's set in the mid to late 1930s. Everyone's freaking out. Smokey doesn't understand what the hell's going on. And Jojo, he just walks right in, with oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Again, he doesn't think things through. He doesn't think a lot of things through, and he could have hurt somebody. And Smokey is just like, what the hell is going on? And this kid is like, these last 48 hours have been absolute chaos for him. But he doesn't know what's going on. He asks, Jojo's like, why did you do that? Why'd you shoot that guy? And he's like, oh, that was Straizo. And he said he was gonna kill me and kill all my family members. He was gonna kill you, Smokey. He was gonna kill you, Smokey Black, and I saved you. You should say you're welcome, but you endangered all the people inside here. He's like, oh yeah, sorry about that. And everyone's screaming and stuff. Jojo, he's like, sorry everybody. He's trying to calm everyone down. Sorry. All the women are like, oh. He's like, broads, bitches leave. And they eventually leave. But he notices on the ground, he notices the bullets. He's like, well, that's weird. Those should be inside Straizo right now, obviously, right? And we see his body's all crumpled up and going, bleh, and like leaking blood and stuff. But he notices some of the bullets are bent, and he's like, oh, that's not good. And he says, Smokey, wait outside. This fight is far from over. And Smokey's like, feet don't fail me now. And he runs outside, chap. And Straizo, he slowly he gets up. And, you have Jojo there with his Tommy gun on him. And Straizo's like, you underestimate my power, Jojo. And he goes, argh! And it looks like he's taken just the biggest dump ever, chat. Just the biggest, like a log of shit. He is just, you can see like the veins popping in his neck. You can see on his forehead. He's like, it's like, hefty and steaming. But what actually happens is, Chad, he starts expelling all the bullets. All the bullets start like popping out of him, and some of those ones that are really deep in there, he like digs inside of his arm and his leg, and he rips out the flesh, and he throws all the bullets like down the ground. It's pretty fucking gross. And Jojo's like, that's cool. And he just straight up, he runs at him, with the Tommy gun in hand. But then Straizo, he is like, fool, don't you know I know the abilities of Dio, a former vampire lord? And Jojo's like, I did not know that. And Straizo, he shoots the laser beams, the same laser beams that got Jojo killed, right? They hit Jojo in his neck, and he started bleeding out. Well, he does the same thing. He shoots his laser beam eyes. I think he calls them Space Ripper Stingy Eyes. Not a great name for like a super move, Chad. It's no Kamehameha, right? Nothing. It's no turquoise, energy overdrive. The Space Ripper Stingy Eyes is not great, but he shoots it, and it fucking hits right between the eyes of Jojo and his neck. And Straizo's like, I did it. I fucking, yeah. And he's a celebrating. He's like, I fucking killed the grandson of Jonathan Joestar. That's how powerful I'm better than Dio ever was. And Jojo's like, hey, numbnuts, turn around. He's like, huh? Because then he turns around, chat, and Jojo is just standing there. He's like, what? And Jojo takes a moment to explain. Apparently, while Straizo is quite powerful as a vampire lord, he's derpy. He's a little derpy, and he absorbed a lot of the bullets, and he got shot in the face and head, and so he doesn't know his right from his left. He doesn't know his up from his down. He doesn't know his forward from his backwards, chat. And so he was like literally like an idiot talking to Jojo's reflection in a mirror. And Jojo's just like, this is kind of weird. And so he shot his laser beam eyes, his Space Ripper Stingy Eyes at the mirror, thinking he actually shot Jojo between the eyes, like in the face and the neck. But he didn't do that. He was just super derpy because of all the hot molten lead that's like probably still rocking around his brain. He's like, oh no, I don't know what my right or my left is, or my forward or my behind. And Jojo's like, exactly, I'm going to take advantage of that. And he then proceeds, because he ran out of bullets, and he proceeds to just beat Straizo with the Tommy gun. He imbues it with Hamon energy. He's like, he charges that shit up and literally starts beating the hell out of Straizo with the gun. The thing is, though, Straizo is able to absorb the blows and the Hamon energy. And Jojo, he steps back. He's like, how is that possible? And Straizo's like, look at my beautiful scarf. Isn't it not luxurious? And he has this giant fucking like orange, scarf on, right? And Jojo's like, that is a beautiful scarf. And he's like, yes, and it has special properties. And he explains, apparently, chat, the scarf is a beetle scarf, okay? It's made from the muscle, the tissue, and ligaments of very powerful beetles who are experts at absorbing Hamon energy. And they've been weaved, okay, you still following me? They've been weaved into the scarf itself. And it's able to block and absorb Hamon energy. And he says, your attacks are useless against me, Jojo. You can do nothing to defeat me. I'm always going to get back up. And Jojo's like, do they block grenades? And he's like, huh? I guess while, again, Straizo's still derpy, and he can't really see very well right now. He's kind of always looking around. Like, he is both walled-eyed and cross-eyed at the same time. How that's possible, chat, I don't know, but that's just the case for this particular episode. And Jojo has attached multiple grenades to his scarf. And he's like, see ya, motherfucker. And he yeets himself out of the cafe. And Straizo's like, woo! It reminded me of that scene in Birds of Prey, the movie, which I actually like that film, where Ewan McGregor plays Black Mask. And you have, what's her name, Cassandra Cain, like, put that grenade in his pocket. And she's like, I put a grenade in your pocket. He goes, woo! Same exact reaction. He fucking panics, trying to get the grenades off. There's like 10 of them. He's like, I ain't gonna be able to. And boom, his ass explodes, chat. Blood, viscera, man meat, everywhere. And everyone's like, woo! I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's pretty cool. That was pretty badass. And Smokey Black's like, Jojo, you didn't. Jojo's like, I know, Smokey, I know. But they hear some movement inside. They go, oh, what the hell's going on? And we see all the meat, all the blood and the viscera and body parts. Slowly they go, and it's like The Thing. It's like John Carpenter's The Thing. They start growing like little arms and little legs and claws, and slowly and sloppily they begin dragging themselves into this meat pile, this meat mass, if you will. It's like, it's all coming back together. Straizo is literally putting himself back together. And Jojo sees this, and he's like, oh my God. And Smokey turns to Jojo. He's like, Jojo, sir, what are we going to do? What are you going to do now? And he's like, Smokey, look at me, Smokey. Look at me, my beautiful, funny little black sidekick. He's like, yes, sir, I'm here. He's like holding his face. And he's like, don't worry, I have a plan. Don't worry. He's like, okay, what's the plan? He's like, look at my thighs. Look how thick my thighs are. And he's like, they are thick, chat. Like, there's no fucking lie at all. Like, he's looking at the thighs. He's like, feel my thighs, Smokey. He's like, okay, I feel a little nervous, but fine. And he feels rock fucking hard, chat. It's like holding on to a steel beam. It's like, oh. He's like, yeah, no, those are amazing thighs. What are you gonna crush him like a watermelon, sir? He's like, no, I'm gonna run away. He fucking takes off running. He runs away. Smokey's like, wait a minute, wait for me. And he chases after him, but he leaves. He runs away from Straizo. Even Straizo's like, where are you going? But Straizo, he realizes, like, he tries to take a step forward. He's like, oh shit. And he's like, he's kind of falls apart. Some of his man meat falls off. He's like, I'm weakened. And so he just Spider-Mans to the wall, and he like crawls on the side of the building, and no one notices him for whatever reason. I feel like, you guys seen that naked man? That naked vampire man that's like literally on the side of the building? The building's only like 4 stories. It's not like he's out of like eyesight. Like, out of my eye line, it's like, I can probably see him. But everyone's like, where'd he go? And they all look inside the building, and we see this woman. I guess she's a photographer for a paper or something, and she's like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be perfect for the paper. I'm gonna get paid a lot of money. Can't wait. I bet they're gonna give me a raise for all this excitement, capturing all this excitement on film. And Straizo's just like, I want to kidnap that bitch, and he jumps down, grabs her, and just escapes to the rooftops, right? And it's like, oh, that was kind of crazy. And she's screaming, she's like, the whole time. We then catch up with Jojo and Smokey, and they're like catching their breath. I think they're on like the Brooklyn Bridge or whatever notable, bridge landmark there is in New York City. And they're like, and Smokey says, why did you run? He's just like, I can't fucking fight that. I threw everything I had at him. I shot him with my Tommy gun. I beat him with my Tommy gun when I ran out of bullets, and I blew him up with all my grenades. Okay. And he still came back. So yeah, we gotta, it's called, Smokey, listen to me. Listen. It's called a strategic retreat. All right, it's not cowardice. It's just like we gotta think about how to handle this situation. All right, but don't worry. Next time I see him, I'll definitely beat him. And Straizo's like, "Hey, bitch, I'm here." He's like, damn it, I did not have enough time to think. But Straizo presents himself. He's on one of the beams of the bridge, and he has the woman. He has the woman by the neck, and he starts threatening Jojo, and he says, "Listen. If you don't come up here and fight me right now, I'm going to rip her jaw off." And then he starts doing something that's really gross. he puts his 2 fingers like into her mouth and starts thrusting into her mouth like that in a very sexual manner. I'm just like, God damn. She's like, it's like she's about to vomit or something, chap. Tickling the insides of her throat. And he's like, and not only I'm going to rip her jaw off, he says, I'm going to rip her jaw off in a downward motion. I'm going to rip her jaw off so all of her flesh is going to rip off with her. Like her neck flesh, her breasts, all the way down to her stomach. And I'm going to rip that off. I'm going to throw it at you. And Jojo's like, nah, you're not going to do something that fucked up. And then he starts doing the finger fucking thing. And Jojo's like, all right, that's kind of fucking weird. And he's like, see, I told you, I'm serious. And Jojo's like, you know what? I don't think you're going to do it. And why would I save that old hag? And she's not old. She's probably younger than, Joey Joestar. She's like, what? Hold on. She's trying to speak because the fingers are down her throat. It's like, you ain't going to do shit. And then you just hear this crunch. And it's like, oh no. And he ripped one of her teeth out. He throws her tooth out. And it click and clacks right down to the ground. And Smokey's like, oh, he gonna rip her fucking jaw off, sir. And he's like, no! And then Joey then freaks out. And he starts getting like super buff and super like, powerful. He like empowers himself with Hamon energy. And he finally starts going up there. He's like, unhand that woman. So he still has a little bit of Jonathan in him, Chad. He still got a little bit of that kindness, that sense of morality. That Jonathan Joestar had. I think he just has the whole roguish. It's more of a facade, really. He's definitely brash and things. Doesn't always think things through, but it's like a little bit's there. He doesn't want to see this woman hurt. I think he was just saying that. Let me call this motherfucker's bluff and see what happens. And so Straizo's like, yeah, and he throws her off the bridge. She's fine, though. She only falls like a couple feet. She's okay. She's like, ow, my fucking tooth. She's kind of pissed out about that. But this, again, enrages Jojo, and he goes to attack Straizo. Straizo then laser eyes him with the laser stingray ripple, whatever the hell he called it. He does that, but don't worry, chat, because this time Jojo was ready for it. He's like, oh, I've observed this ability. And so he pulls out these shot glasses. And he says, I've imbued these with Hamon energy, and they can reflect whatever you throw at me. Okay. And he manages to position them in such a way where at least one of the laser beams hits the glass. The other one hits his shoulder and goes all the way through, but it's just a flesh wound. But it goes in the glass, and then it goes, whoop, and it shoots out. And Jojo's like, oh no! And then hits him right back in his eyeball. Explodes his eyeball out of his head. And like half his face is gone. He's like, He's like, that's not good. And then Jojo runs up on his ass, and Jen just starts pummeling the shit out of him. As with so many punches, until his body like literally starts disintegrating. It falls over the edge of the bridge, but Jojo grabs onto it because he wants answers. He wants to know why Straizo killed Speedwagon. He wants to know how he found the means to become a vampire lord, and all that. Like, if there's more of these masks. So you gotta give Jojo this. Joey Joestar this. He doesn't think all the way's through, but at least in this moment, he's like, all right, I gotta figure out some stuff, right? And Straizo, he's slowly disintegrating. And, he pretty much admits at this point, he's just like, I wanted to become a vampire lord. I all these decades, I saw myself growing older and older and older, and I didn't want to die like an old man. I rather burn bright and fizzle out quickly than live this sad existence as an old person. And Jojo is like, all right, well, you got issues. And he's like, where did you get the masks? And he's like, they were in Mexico with Speedwagon, who is alive. And he's like, Uncle Speedwagon's alive? He's like, yeah, he's alive. And I was like, oh, shit. And he's like, how? How did that happen? He's like, I dragged him out of the cave after I became a vampire. And then he says, he's like, there is someone more powerful than me. It's the Pillar Man. He's like, the Pillar Man? He's like, yeah, it's where all the masks were. Like, that's where I got my mask. And apparently, chat, the Pillar Man's, like, the entire cave system, it started, like, absorbing and drinking the blood of all the dead people. Like, all these vines suddenly popped out of the rocks and shit, and they started, like, puncturing the bodies of the people there and started drinking them, and, like, giant straws and shit. But he grabbed Speedwagon, he dragged him out of the cave before all that happened. And he's like, whatever that Pillar Man is, he's far more powerful than me. So damn you, Jojo. Damn you all to hell. And then he starts going, and Jojo's like, what the fuck? And apparently, since Straizo is still a master of Hamon energy, he could still summon it, but it's tearing apart his body. Because it's like, because as we know, Hamon energy and vampires do not mix. And so he suddenly just makes himself into, like, he's basically like a bomb. He's like a meat bomb. He's like, fuck you, and he explodes. He explodes, and his remains then fall into the water. He might come back for all I know. How many times did Dio Brando die, Chad? Like, he seemingly disintegrated, he burned away, and then he always fucking comes back. So Straizo, for all I know, he might still be alive, but at least for right now, he's taken off the board, right? And Smokey's like, woo, that was fucking awesome, man. He's like, yeah, we got to head to Mexico. We got to go to Mexico. We got to find Speedwagon, see where he is. But then the lady comes over and she starts fucking slapping the shit out of Jojo. Jojo's like, why you hitting me, you crazy old broad? And she's like, I'm not old, and I didn't appreciate that comment when you called me a hag. And he's just like, I'm sorry. I was trying to play him. You know, looking at you up there, you actually look very beautiful. You're very, very pretty. And she's like, oh, thank you. But he's like, but now I can tell you're an ogress based on how you act. She's like, fuck you. And she kicks him in the shins. He's like, ah. And he falls down. Everyone starts laughing. What a crazy day. What a crazy night. All over the night. Meanwhile, World War II is broken out, chat. World War II is broken out. Now, very interesting. Because World War II, as we all know, started with the invasion of Poland, when Germany invaded Poland, Blitzkrieg and all that. But for whatever reason, in the episode that I was watching, they say World War II started in 1938. I'm just like, that's not right. That was inaccurate. So I think the subtitled version on Crunchyroll needs to be updated, because I took note of that. But we learn, chat, the Nazis. Oh, I hate those guys. The Nazis, they've been trying to find various ancient artifacts of the occult around the world, you know, to try to help them, you know, win the war, win against the Allies. Very Indiana Jones, right? You know, since Hitler was obsessed with the occult, trying to find all these ancient artifacts, right? And so apparently, we learned that they've established a base of operations in Mexico, and they've been raiding like all these, you know, ancient temples. They've enslaved Mexicans and like all these various towns and villages and attacking. I mean, again, they're being a little, you know, obviously Germany didn't actually fucking invade Mexico or anything like that, but they're being a little over exaggerated, fantastical. It's like, you know, historical fiction, if you will. But they set up this operation here. And it's being run by a new character, chat, Rudolf von Stroheim. Correct me if I'm mispronouncing the name. I will proceed to mispronouncing it, probably most likely for at least several episodes, but I'll eventually get it, chat. But Rudolf von Stroheim, and he's a sadist. He's a sadist. He's a Nazi. He loves torturing people, killing people. He doesn't like anybody. He doesn't like anybody unless you're a blue-eyed, blonde-haired, Aryan-looking German. If you look like you got a tan, you are lesser than him. You might as well be a cockroach, right? And we first meet him while he's getting a shave. He's getting a pedicure. He's getting a shave. And, you know, he's like, yes, indeed. Yes, Hail Hitler. But then he moves his head like awkwardly, and this causes this woman who was shaving him. She's using a straight razor to accidentally like nicks his cheek and it draws blood. She's like, "Oh, sir, I'm so sorry, sir. I can get something to fix it." And lo siento, and he's just like, don't speak that filthy language to me. And he's like, if you want to make it feel better, then lick it. You must lick it. And I should do my German accent. You must lick my wound. It is the only way to make it feel better. And she's like, okay. And she starts going, and she's like, oh, yes, I love the way you lick my wound. It is what you deserve. You are tasting German blood, Aryan blood, so pure, unlike you filthy mongrel. Oh! And I was like, wow, this guy's like really villainous. And I'm thinking like, and she licks it. I thought she was going to kill her right there. But she licks it all up, right? And he grabs her tongue. I was like, here we go. He grabs her tongue and he gets the straight razor and he puts it like right underneath it. He's just like, oh, your tongue, it does not deserve to taste me. I should just cut it off. She's like, oh, cut off my tongue. Lo siento. He's like, do not speak that language. But before, and they got the other people in there, they're giving the pedicure and shit. They're all fucking like terrified and they feel so bad for the girl. But before he can cut her tongue off, chat, the door opens up and he's like, sir, we found him. We found the person that will lead us to great power for Germany, for the Deutschland, for the fatherland. He's like, oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, very good, very good. And so he gets up. And we find out, chat, that they have a prisoner. He needed serious medical attention, but he seems to be recovering. And it's Speedwagon. And fucking Uncle Speedwagon, chat's been captured by the Nazis. And they went to the ancient temple in the cave, and they found the Pillar Man. And they brought him to the facility. And he's there in the middle of the facility and stuff. And Stroheim is like, you are Mr. Speedwagon, oil tycoon from Great Britain, yeah? And he's like, I don't speak to dirty fucking krauts like you. Get out of here and take your Wiener Schnitzel with you. He's like, I will not take the delicious Wiener Schnitzel. So, no, but you must tell me everything that happened in that cave. And the Pillar Man, what is he? He is what we need to win the war. And Speedwagon's like, I ain't talking to a goddamn Nazi. He's like, fuck yeah, Speedwagon. I'm actually glad he's alive. I was really sad. I was like, oh, they fucking killed him. But, he's back, Jay, he's back. But he refuses. He refuses to cooperate with the Nazis because, of course, he's fucking Speedwagon. He doesn't do that shit. And he's like, we have ways to make you talk. And he brings out, he's like, Germany is the leader in medical science. And he brings out this huge fucking syringe. And he's like, it is truth serum. You'll tell us everything. Speedwagon's like, no. And he injects him. He injects him with the truth serum. And then we assume, like, he tells him everything about the Pillar Man, like, what he observed, what he saw, and all that, and all the, like, the blood it absorbed and stuff, and the vampiric masks and things. Like, the last thing we need is fucking Nazi vampires, Chad. It's like, that is not good. And so, Stroheim, he learns all this about the vampiric masks and the Pillar Man, and he's like, all right, well, we must test it. Bring us the Mexicans. And so, he goes to one of the prison camps there, but pretty much like a concentration camp. And he goes there, and it's this very large cell, and inside there's like about 20 people, various ages, male, female, children, and everything. And he's like, I have something very wonderful for you today. And they're like, can we have some food and water? He's like, no, you do not get food and water. You get to do something very special. You get to do it for the fatherland, for Deutschland. And he says, I need a volunteer. I need one volunteer to participate in a great German experiment, and then the other 19, they get to go free. You get to go free. But you must pick one for the experiment. Everyone's like, shit, I don't want to be a part of a Nazi. That's never good. You don't want to be a part of a Nazi experiment. But this one kid, this one small little Mexican child is like, me, I'll do it. And he's like, wonderful, it's so good, yeah, fantastic. Okay, prepare him for the experiment and shoot all the other ones. And the kid's like, you said you let them go free. He's like, yes, I would free them from life. Oh, the little stinker. And he's like, he has a little stinker, Jay. He's a little Nazi stinky boo. And they kill all those people. I assume they kill all the people. They grab the kid. And they walk out, and then we see I don't know if they put the kid in there with the statue or anything, but we cut to the room of the statue, and we see like the vines popping out. We see the vines popping out of the statue in the middle of the facility. But then we cut outside the facility, and we see Jojo. We see good old Joey Joestar, and he's like, I went to Mexico. I found out where this Nazi compound is, and apparently Speedwagon was taken by the Nazis. And so I got a lot of fucking Nazi killing to do. He's going to be shooting, stabbing, and strangling Nazis. He's on his fucking motorcycle. He just heads fucking beelines right towards the compound, right? It's like, hell yeah. But, we see someone behind him. Someone is trailing him, Chad, this mysterious cloaked figure. Right, who also looks like they're hiding from the sun. And we see it appears as if they have vampiric eyes, and they're like, soon. And that, my friends, is my review, my spoiler review, my scene by scene by scene breakdown chat to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, episode 11. Good episode. A lot happened in this episode. Everything with Joey Joestar and Straizo and Smokey Black, and then we got a new enemy, Stroheim, a Nazi. Ooh, hate those guys, Jay. Hate those guys. But I hope you enjoyed the review. Hope you like my German accent, too.